All right. So if you're watching this, this is for our plate tectonics project. So where we need to go here is Monday. So in class, we started this on Monday. And here's the rubric. Here's the project. So I click here. That's the attachment underneath Monday, February 1st. And so as I go on here, this is all for you. You guys need to have this. You need to be looking at this project rubric right here the entire time that you're doing the project. So you can either do one, so the objective here to explain the formation of geologic structures, features through the theory of plate tectonics, and present the information in a creative format. So a geologic structure or feature, that's what's a volcano maybe that you want to do, or maybe what's a large earthquake, like maybe you want to do the San Francisco earthquakes. Maybe you want to do like a famous mountain range that you've always wanted to visit or something like that. You always wanted to visit Hawaii, how the Hawaiian Islands get there. So that's what this is kind of about. How did this event happen, or how did that volcano erupt? And then you're going to do research on it. So as you're doing research on it, you're going to tell me how it got there and all that stuff by using the Continental Drift, the theory of seafloor spreading, and then you wrap it all up with plate tectonic theory. So you can do it in one of three ways. So the first way, probably the most popular, is create a PowerPoint presentation that includes at least 10 slides. The second one you can do is you can create a mural or a collage. And so you can talk about, you need a 5-paragraph explanation that covers the necessary research topics. And you can have pictures and you cut and paste and all that stuff. A lot of people do that as well. But again, these are all three going to be similar because you're picking, like I said, you're picking a specific volcano, or you're picking a specific earthquake, or you're picking a specific mountain range. Or you can also do a children's book where you're like some kind of child exploring this geologic structure and explaining to the reader how that got there. So the entire time as you're making one of those three things, you got to keep this in mind, explaining Continental Drift. So you can explain Continental Drift, but again, I don't want you to explain don't tell me what Continental Drift is. Don't tell me who created the hypothesis. And then don't tell me this stuff. Use 9 slides to explain all of this, and then all of a sudden you don't talk about your topic, right? So if you're doing Yellowstone and you only mention Yellowstone on like your very last slide and you just kind of talk about it, that defeats the purpose of doing this entire thing. So when you explain Continental Drift, you need to explain it, and you can also talk about who created the hypothesis of Continental Drift, but you also need to tie that in. What does that have to do with, in this case, Yellowstone? So Continental Drift is just the simple fact of plates moving across the surface, right? That was Alfred Wegener's thing. He's like, Continental Drift is a real thing, but remember, he could not explain how they moved or what drove the process. And so you can tie that in very easily with seafloor spreading. And so you can talk about those guys at the same time. Well, then that's how you can bring in, the North American plate was moving over top of the mantle, or this hot spot where Yellowstone's located at. And you can talk about, seafloor spreading. So that's a divergent plate boundary. So where is that going on? Well, if we look at the Atlantic Ocean, the mid-Atlantic ridge, that's where seafloor spreading is occurring, and that's where it's pushing the North American plate and the Eurasian plate away. And as it's doing that, it's pushing it over top of this hot spot. Anyways, that's my example for Yellowstone. You guys should do some other example other than that one. Okay, and again, this is kind of like a checklist. Do not do these in order. There's no specific order to this. It's not like you have to mention this once. You can mention Continental Drift multiple times on multiple slides. You can mention the theory of platonics or seafloor spreading on multiple slides. It's just make sure that you at least get this stuff in there. And how, again, I put it on on a lot of them. What does this have to do with your project? What does seafloor spreading have to do with your project? What does plate tectonic theory have to do with your project? So on and so forth. Make sure it's neat, nice, creative. If your work is typed, that's probably going to be typed. It's going to be 15% deduction for every day that's late. It's going to be due Tuesday, by the way, next Tuesday. So we started on Monday. I got a hold of everybody, and it was a little difficult to get everybody on a call. But again, like I told everybody, it's due Tuesday. So we need to get this done by Tuesday. Class productivity, I'm not really going to grade you guys on that because you're not in my class. You're not in class, so I don't know. Accuracy, completeness, yep. And again, this is me saying the same thing 10 times over in this little rubric. Relate seafloor spreading, continental drift, and the theory of plate tectonics back to your main topic. Anytime you talk about the theories or the hypotheses, you need to be specific to the creation of your topic. Okay, so anytime you're talking about seafloor spreading in Yellowstone or continental drift, you need to talk about Yellowstone. Okay, don't get me wrong. I guess if there's a slide or two where you're specifically talking about how seafloor spreading occurs, where you're explaining convection currents in the mantle and how there's ridge push at the mid-ocean ridge and how there's slab pull where the plate is subducting beneath. Sure, if you need a slide to explain that and you don't bring up your topic, that's fine. But like I said, what I'm trying to avoid you doing is just talking about all of this stuff for 9 slides, and then slide 10, all of a sudden we're talking about Yellowstone. So I want to make sure that you're bringing that topic in throughout your entire project. Okay, so let's talk about this real fast. So this is also going to be based on research, right? We're going to do some research here. So I got this pulled up. Just how long has the Yellowstone hotspot been around? Okay, and so let's say that I'm doing my research, and it says right here, the Yellowstone hotspot, the source that heats the power of Yellowstone's vast volcanic system, has long been thought to have initiated about 17 million years ago. So that seems like a little bit of information I may want to include and show my readers about, right? And so I like that. So I'm going to use this source here, this guy right here. This looks good. I come down here. And it shows that this article, credit here, Vic Camp. He's the author. So written by Vic Camp. Credit goes to Vic Camp, San Diego University, public domain. Okay. So anyways, I'm going to show you guys an easy way to cite this. So this is just going to be like Mrs. Zeitler's class where you guys have to do research. You have to find a source, then you have to cite that in MLA, and then you have to do in-text citations, meaning when you start typing up your PowerPoint or your 5-paragraph essay for the collage or maybe your children's book, the in-text citation is, remember, your parentheses, and inside the parentheses you have the author of that article or whoever wrote that article and page number, right? That's the in-text citation. So anyways, let's go to my plan book here. Here's citationmachine.org .net. This, you guys are going to love it, I promise. So I go here to website, click website, and all I have to do is paste. So I copy and pasted my URL from this guy, and I put it right into here. And this guy's going to do everything for you. Okay, so I'm going to cite this article that I just did. Continue, and you do have to check it out because right here, so it missed my author, right? It was Vic. Vic Camp. That's who it was. So I have Vic Camp. Publishing date. Is there any of that stuff? Let's see. Release date February 1st, 2021. So that's pretty. I mean, that was 2 days ago. Wow. Okay. So anyways, I guess I know that there's a publishing date, 2021, February 1st, 2021. So I'm going to go ahead back to here. So 01 February and 2021. Okay. And so every once in a while you have to fill some stuff in, but it's pretty good. So other than that, complete citation. Okay. Hopefully we don't get sometimes it makes you go through.
A bunch of Vikings killed each other. 2 guys named Olaf had the first mackerel.
Okay. So that advertisement's done. Okay. So here it is. Here's our citation. So I'm going to go ahead. The one that it spit out for us, copy citation. By the way, if this citationmachine.net, if it makes you go ahead and just watch the advertisement, and then it will leave you alone for 48 hours. Okay. So now I got that done. So now what do I want to do? Well, I'm going to go ahead. And Mrs. Zeitler, you guys are remote, so it might be a little different. I don't know if you did it this way, but she has kids, so you do your work cited. So here's my work cited. All right. My first work cited. And then this needs to be like tabbed or I'm not exactly sure, but I'm fine with this. Or maybe it's something like this. No, what's that? There. I believe that's what it's supposed to be. So the first line up here is tabbed in. And then after that, now I'm going to put information here. So remember this guy that I said, all right, I really like this little bit of information. I think I'm going to include this into my PowerPoint. All right, I'm going to go ahead and copy this. I'm going to paste it here. Okay, and so now when I go to make my PowerPoint, I'm just saying you might make a PowerPoint. Maybe you'll make your mural or collage, but let's say you're going to make a PowerPoint. When I go ahead, I want to include this, right? I cannot copy this and put in my PowerPoint. That's called plagiarism. So what do I need to do? I need to paraphrase this. Paraphrase is putting it in my own words. Okay, so when you put it in your own words, then I can go ahead and type out. Obviously, this is the title page, but let's say it's not the title page. Let's say this is my content, right? Scientists believe that the hotspot for Yellowstone has been around for about 17 million years. Okay, so that's my, like I said, I came up with that off the top of my head. Scientists believe that the hotspot for Yellowstone has been around for about 17 million years. Let's see how close. The Yellowstone hotspot, a source of heat that powers Yellowstone, has been thought to have been initiated about 17 million years. So you see, they're saying the same thing, but I said it in my own words, and that's what makes a paraphrase a paraphrase. And so then I need to add in-text citations. So where did I get this information from? I got it from Vic Camp. So I'm going to put just his last name. So I put Camp, period. And my in-text citation is right here. Here's my parentheses, and then my period goes behind my parentheses. And then I keep typing. If you type a whole paragraph out and all of that paragraph, or you don't want to, so on a presentation, right, like this, you don't want to put 100 words on one slide. If a reader is going to look at that, he wants bullet points and short, not super short, but it can't be clustered. Okay. So anyways, if I'm writing more than one or two sentences, and it's all from the same source, then you can have this in-text citation at the very end of those if that information comes from the same source. But every time you get information from a different source, you have to put where did that source come from in your in-text citation. Okay. Other than that, I think that's all I got for you now. So you guys, what you need to do is you need to tell me what are you guys going to do? Are you going to do a volcano? Okay, which volcano? Do a Google 10 most powerful volcanoes that I know of or in history, and then find one that you want to do, tell me about it, and then you go ahead and do it. Or you can do most deadly earthquakes in history. Find an earthquake that you want to talk about, tell me how it happened. You want to do a volcano or a mountain range that you've always wanted to visit? Okay, but you got to let me know, okay? You got to message me that after this. Okay, bye.